So hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Question Block. And in the last episode, I asked, what is the most obscure piece of Nintendo merchandise that you own? So there's quite a lot of Nintendo merchandise nowadays, especially from Mario and Pokemon, and some of it can be fairly common, but there's also a lot of merchandise released throughout the years, especially older merchandise, that is pretty obscure, and it's pretty interesting if you own certain things, since it seems like you own a pretty interesting piece of Nintendo history. So yeah, that's what I'll be discussing with these responses today. So, Fawful the Great 64 said, I have a few things that are fairly obscure, though I'm not sure which is the most. They include various trading cards from Super Paper Mario, New Super Mario Bros. DS, Mario Party 1, 2, 3, and 8, Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Kart Wii, and Yoshi's Island DS. A set of Bowser's Inside Story themed styluses with figures of Fawful, Starlo, Brocade Monsieur, Broggy, a Blitty, a Fat Toad, 8 Paper Mario 64 Mahjong tiles, a set of Super Mario Bros. 25th Anniversary pins, a Japanese guidebook for Mario Luigi Superstar Saga, a few store displays for Super Paper Mario, Galaxy 2, Super Mario 3D Land, Mario Kart 7, and a 5-sided one with Mario Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions, New Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Maker for 3DS, and Mario Party The Top 100. I don't know how much the store displays really count as merch, but they really make a nice collection piece. And I gotta mention, to what may not be official game merch, but its value reaches way past everything else, especially in light of the recent news. A signed print of my video call with Charles Martinet. I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around a future for Mario without his voice. Yeah, that is quite a lot of interesting merchandise for Mario and everything. So the trading cards is pretty interesting. I know they did exist for New Super Mario Bros. And New Super Mario Bros. Wii. In Super Paper Mario as well, I kind of found out about the Japanese trading cards a while ago, which is pretty interesting. It would have been cool if they actually made all of the catch cards in the trading cards. I think that would have been really cool. Like a whole set of different enemies, and then also references to the previous Paper Mario games, just as one big Paper Mario trading card set. That would be really cool. But the Super Paper Mario cards are just pretty interesting. And then also the ones that you mentioned, I didn't even know existed. Like the Mario Party games. Actually, I did know about the Mario Galaxy trading cards, and also the Mario Kart ones are pretty interesting too. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how many Mario games from the late 90s and 2000s had trading cards and everything. And I'm assuming most of these are from Japan, because I know in North America, we mostly got the New Super Mario Bros. Ones, and maybe the Mario Galaxy ones, I think. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see all of those games getting different trading cards. And then with the Bowser's Inside Story styluses, I heard about those, especially with the Fawful one, in the Starlo one as well. I think I've seen those before. I think that's pretty interesting. That's one of the only times the Mario and Luigi series has gotten proper merch before. I think Paper Jam got toys, I think there were kids meal toys from Sonic, the restaurant a while ago. Well, back when that game released. But Bowser's Inside Story styluses, I did hear about those. The Paper Mario 64 Mahjong tiles, yeah, I heard about that. And Paper Mario 64 actually had a decent amount of merch. It actually had a board game, I think, in Japan. And then also, I think there were also, socks and things. Someone on my Discord server sent me something about Paper Mario 64 socks a while ago, which is pretty interesting. I definitely want to get my hands on them at some point. But yeah, And all of the store displays are really cool as well. Even though they're technically not merch in the traditional sense, they're still a cool thing to collect. And a lot of them are pretty rare, especially the older ones, like Super Paper Mario and things. Kind of the newer ones, like the 3DS and Switch era, those are a bit more common from what I've seen. But they still are really cool to have, and especially is really cool to see ones for like the Mario and Luigi series and the Paper Mario series and everything. But yeah, and then the Charles Martinet thing is also really cool as well. I think I saw the video that you posted with the video call that you did with him. That was really cool that you were able to do that and everything. So definitely pretty cool that you had something signed by Charles Martinet, and especially now that he's retiring from the role of voicing Mario, I think that's definitely a special thing to have. I mean, even though it technically doesn't count as like traditional Nintendo merch, it's still just really cool. So Garz said, a Kirby Triple Deluxe demo cartridge obtained by winning a quiz in a mall. That's pretty interesting. I really haven't heard of any like situation like that where you like any event where you could like win like a demo cartridge or anything. I know like demo discs in demo cartridges for things were actually fairly common in like the early 2000s, but by the 3DS era, I didn't really hear of it that much. So that's pretty interesting that you were able to get it. I can't really think of many 3DS games that had like any like demo cartridges or anything that was like released officially, because most of the demos on 3DS were like digital downloads and everything. And if they did kind of show like a demo in a store or something, like at a mall or at GameStop or something, it would usually be like a QR code that would be used on the 3DS and everything. Either a QR code or an actual code to put on the eShop and everything. I think they did both. But yeah, that is really interesting that you were able to get a Kirby Triple Deluxe demo cartridge. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's like anything rare, but I think that's pretty, well, or anything like officially released. It does sound kind of rare, but yeah, that is definitely pretty cool. So, Ariane said, a massive Goomba plush I got from GameStop. His name is Goombario. If y'all know what game he's from, kudos to you. Oh yeah, Paper Mario 64, Goombario. Yeah, Goombario, I love Goombario, definitely one of my favorite Paper Mario characters. And I would say my favorite Goomba, basically, like my favorite specific Goomba, I would say, because he's pretty cool. But yeah, definitely a pretty iconic character from the Paper Mario series, so it's cool that you named your Goomba plush that. It would be cool if you got him a blue hat, the kind of match Goombario and everything, so yeah, that would be pretty cool, so that's a pretty nice name. So Nintendo 64 said a box of vintage, unopened 1989 Nintendo trading cards. No marks or anything. Wow, that is pretty interesting. I know when I was talking about trading cards earlier, I kind of meant more so like more of the 3D era in terms of Mario and everything. But it's really cool that you were able to get like even older trading cards. Like from the NES era. So I did know that there were some trading cards then, so that is definitely really cool, and a pretty cool piece of Nintendo history. I actually have some pretty old trading cards that they're not really like I mean, they still do count as Nintendo merchandise, but they're not like specifically related to any Nintendo game, more so a movie, the 1993 Mario movie. I actually made a video about the unboxing video that I did, but I actually opened up a pack of 1993 Super Mario Bros. Trading cards, well, for the movie and everything, and I thought that was really cool. But yeah, definitely pretty cool that you have some unopened, like, trading cards from 1989. So yeah, Mario Man 524 said, a copy of Metroid Prime that comes with a Prime 2 demo disc. I actually heard about that. Like I was saying with the Kirby Triple Deluxe demo cartridge, well, then on the 3DS, that wasn't as common or really uncommon, really rare for something like that to happen on the 3DS. It was actually a bit more common during the GameCube era, and even though it is a tad bit more common, it still is very interesting, and still is kind of uncommon compared to, like, other things you'd normally find. Like, most of the time you'll find, like, Metroid Prime or Metroid Prime 2 just, like, alone in everything. But it is cool that it actually comes with the Prime 2 demo disc and everything. I know there was actually, like, a Mario Kart Double Dash version that actually released with a demo disc as well, but it was just kind of random assorted games for, like, upcoming releases and everything. But yeah, pretty cool that you got the Metroid Prime copy that came with the Prime 2 disc. And I know there's quite a lot of other interesting things to collect in terms of, like, GameCube and demo discs. There's actually, like, the store kiosk discs that you can collect, and they're not extremely expensive. They are, like, more than you normally buy for, like, a game or something. They are kind of upwards of, like, $50 to $100. But, like, for something that was shown in store and has, like, exclusive content, especially, like, for demos of games that weren't finished yet, like, one example of that was Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door. There's, like, kind of like a late beta build of the game that is basically kind of encapsulated in the demo that's on a few of the demo discs for kiosks. So I thought that's pretty cool. Definitely a pretty cool piece of obscure Nintendo merchandise. And just demo discs in general are just really cool. So M64 Bros said, the Nintendo Power Catalog N64 Super Mario 64 Toy Site plush. I actually haven't heard of that before, but I did look it up before I recorded the video and everything, and I actually saw that you uploaded a video about that, and that is really cool. It's cool to see some of these interesting and obscure N64 era plushes. I really like the older Mario plush designs. I know it kind of has a similar design with that plush to some of the other N64 early GameCube era Mario plushes, so that is pretty cool that you have that. Definitely pretty cool to have some N64 era merch. But yeah, so Dirty698 said, I owned a couple of arm sleeves. One has Springman and the other has Ribbon Girl. It's a shame that those are the only ARMS merch I'm aware of, other than Min Min's amiibo. Yeah, I actually have the Min Min amiibo, but the arm sleeve thing is pretty cool. Was that something that's, like, sold at, like, Target or something? Like some of the collectible coins for some early Switch games like Mario Odyssey or Smash Ultimate? Or was that, like, actually like some promotional item from, like, an event or something? Because that sounds pretty interesting. I know nowadays Nintendo releases a lot of merchandise, well, at least a little bit of merchandise for some of the current games that are releasing through My Nintendo, either through the My Nintendo store or the My Nintendo Rewards program. But that started, well, at least in North America, with physical rewards in 2020. In 2017, My Nintendo was just only limited to, like, digital rewards, so it would have been something different than that. Just pretty curious to hear where those arm sleeves came from. The ARMS arm sleeves. So yeah, that's pretty cool, especially considering that ARMS is a pretty underrated game in general. So yeah. So Krusty Koopa said, a Mario Kart themed license plate with Bowser on it, officially licensed. but only 100 were made, and I had imported it from the UK. I currently have it placed right above my desk. Wow, that is really cool, especially since there were only 100 made, so it has to be really rare at that point, really hard to come across. So that is really cool, and it's cool that it's Bowser themed as well. But yeah, definitely a pretty interesting piece of Nintendo merchandise. Pretty interesting piece of Mario Kart merchandise specifically. But yeah, I know Mario Kart gets a fair amount of merchandise, like either through like the Hot Wheels releases or Connects. Like I had the Connects Mario Kart Wii set, different things like that. But like the themed license plate that were with only 100 made, that is really interesting. So yeah, so the final one is Devin, and he said, maybe this little figurine of Mario hopping over a Koopa, the bottom says it's made by a company called Applause, so maybe they have a line of these guys somewhere. Oh, and maybe that super detail or whatever figure of Mario with his bros arcade get-up. Yeah, that is really cool. It definitely seems like it's pretty, pretty reminiscent of the, like older eras of Mario, and everything. So that's pretty cool. I think the Mario Bros. One kind of seems like it was like kind of commemorative of that era, but the first one that you mentioned kind of seems more of something like from like an older era of Mario, which is pretty cool. But I also really like that Mario Bros. Thing as well, like that figure. Because I think the Mario Bros. Arcade design of Mario is pretty cool. So yeah. So anyways, the next question is, what is your least favorite video game trope? So let me know down in the comments. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Amazon affiliate link if you want to. Goodbye.